Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. Got a couple last details done on the 59 Euro today. I think that actually wraps it up for this car. So one of the things we did was installed the radio that was supplied by the owner. Let's see this here. Very cool looking Motorola radio. Cleaned it up, installed it, made a bracket for it to hold it steady so it's not flopping around. If you just mount them basically on the dash where they screw on through the knobs there, there's a lot of weight hanging into the trunk area there. So, it's really not a good idea to mount them like that. So we made a bracket that supports it on the opposite end there. So nice and stable. Looks good. It's a good choice on the owner's part. Love how the gray knobs kind of go with the car. Other thing we did, very small thing again, but just another detail that was kind of dangling on this car, was to put a deck lid spring on it. I don't remember if I showed it the other day or not, but I went ahead and put the handles on it that the owner had painted or powder coated black. Did those the other day. So this car, I believe, is done as far as we're concerned. It doesn't have the trim on it because he needs to take it back to the paint shop for them to fix some things and cut and buff the whole car. It just didn't make any sense to put all the trim on the car and then be cutting and buffing the paint with the trim on it. So yeah, I left those off, but those things are easy enough to put on. He can do it himself, or he can bring it back and we'll do it at some point. But anyway, yeah, this car's done. Owner's out of town this week, so the car's probably not leaving the shop till next week, but I think as far as we're concerned, it's done. So good to finish up another car and have it heading out here to open up a space pretty soon. The 69 EV Beetle, as you can see, has rear quarter windows in it now. Went and put those in today, and it has the rear window in it too. Likewise, put those in. They all went in pretty easily. No big deal. We usually do that as a two-person job. The windshield, sometimes we use 3 people on that. We actually did this time when we installed it the other day. It's easier with 3 people, and it feels a little less likely to break the window because you're applying more even pressure. Let's see what else we did on this car today. I did work a little bit on the wiring as far as talking to the guy Leo who's going to be doing the EV installation and trying to understand how the charging system on this car is going to work and what we're going to use and not use as far as the stock wires. So pretty much this whole part of the harness here is unused. These wires go to the generator for charging, the idiot light. There's a ground here, and then there's also the idiot light wire for the oil light switch, and there's the coil voltage supply here. So pretty much all these wires don't get used. Probably go ahead and snip this off up in here somewhere and just kind of cap it off neatly. Likewise, got a good understanding finally of what to do with the voltage regulator wires, which on these later cars are inside the car. So these wires here are not used. These 3 are the ones I mentioned earlier. So generator, idiot light for the generator, and ground for the generator. So we'll snip those off. And then likewise, this one, I don't even remember what it goes to, but we're not using it. And I think these again are idiot light, and one of them is for the rear window defroster, which we're not using. So yeah, so those all get snipped off too. Pretty much the only one that's coming out in the middle of the car here, or towards the back of the car here, is this one. This one is actually going to connect to this pigtail off of the positive battery here. So this will basically supply 12 volts up to the front of the car for headlights, windshield wipers, so on and so forth. Pretty much everything that's supplied or that needs a 12 volt supply is going to come from this wire directly from the battery. And then the thick wire here, which normally goes to the starter, is actually going to be routed back to the EV system. The EV system will supply, I think, basically 14 volts when the car is running, and that will go to charging the 12 volt battery. And then, of course, the ground for the 12 volt battery, chassis ground. So that's it. So this is all going to clean up pretty nice. It was good to talk to Leo today, and this was kind of my suspicion about how this would be wired, but I confirmed with him today. So it's actually very simple. Pretty much uses one wire. Everything else gets snipped off. Easy. The other thing is we worked on cleaning up the underhood wiring today. Still a bit of a mess, but you can see it's looking quite a bit more organized than it was before. And we'll finish that up and get it looking more tidy. There's still a bunch of things disconnected, but overall, yeah, it's kind of getting cleaned up in here pretty nice. And we got a emergency flasher switch finally from CIP1. I might have mentioned that the other day, that has the correct knob on it to go through the padded dash. It's not installed now, but we have it. So Wolfsburg West didn't actually have the one with the correct knob on it for a padded dash car. So thanks to CIP1 for carrying that switch. So that is pretty much it for the EV Beetle today. The only other thing today was a tiny bit of work, finally kind of kicking off working on this 23 Window Deluxe walkthrough here. Was just started some little tiny things, pulling the old rubber brake hoses off, kind of inspecting the brake hard lines, which seem fine, but I'll inspect them a little bit more. Just kind of going through, checking the wiring, which is all going to be pulled out, and just kind of getting an understanding of the wiring system and what's going on here. It's a pretty intact wiring system, so it should be pretty easy to use the old wiring basically to pull the new wiring through its various twists and turns that it makes going through the car. Likewise, up on this side, just kind of getting an understanding here. Pretty much everything is intact, so it'll make it super easy to pull all the new wiring harness through using the existing one. You know, basically as like a fish tape essentially to pull all those wires through. So we may actually go ahead and pull the new wiring harness on this tomorrow. And I'm still kind of waiting for the owner to give us an inventory of what he has for the car so that we can create a shopping list and start buying parts and putting this thing together. We have basically only the wiring harness for this car, and we have the transmission, which we had rebuilt. So those are the only parts pretty much we have for this car. So there's not a heck of a lot we can do to it till the owner gets us all the parts he has, so we can take inventory of that, and then you know, start buying what we don't have, and then really get to assembling this car. So that is it for today, guys. Thanks for watching. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe. Thanks a lot. Bye.